Here we go, baby! Here we go! Yeah! Yeah! Boom! 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 Boom!
Call from B193122233611.
Here we go, baby! Here we go! Yeah! Yeah! Boom! 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 Hey, Roadrunners, welcome back to Lip Medallion. Oh boy, it's post-Texas State game, huh? It's Monday night. I'm back in Houston. Finished a long day of work, went grocery shopping, decided, time to do the video. Probably could have done it last night, but I like to sit on them to where I can cool off a little bit because there were a lot of things that bothered me. But you're going to crack up about the things that bother me. Absolutely. So let's get them out of the way. 1, the touchdown club. I saw more people down there in that area that I pay a lot of money to be a privilege to join, walking around without wristbands. In the same touchdown club area, I heard opposing fans doing their chant. You don't do that. That's our hospitality area. You can be a fan, you do that in the stands, and I'm fine with that. But not in the hospitality area, right? 3, we had a kid leave the hospitality area, run down the sidelines, and then get halfway back before somebody caught him. Apparently, he was being goaded to do it, and the little booger-eating moron did it. There's video of it. I've got it. I'll splice it in here. And you can see the dad consoling his son, almost like, oh, it's okay. No, it's not okay. I was assaulted in the Dome back during the Frank Wilson era. And they escorted me out. Mind you, I was assaulted. This kid was on a football field. This kid was trespassing. That's bad. That's a lack of respect. And hold on. And then number 4, I'll splice a picture of it. There were Texas State fans on our sidelines with field passes. That should never be allowed. The minute they start crossing over, someone should be there. Someone should be replacing that. And then the guy in that group went over there and grabbed our touchdown hammer, our turnover hammer. You don't touch another team's equipment at all. I complained. They said they asked for an insane amount, and I'll address it Monday. Never got a call back about it being addressed. This is an ongoing, recurring theme. And Roadrunner fans, I love my Roadrunners. I have had access to the touchdown club since like 2013. I hadn't used it till like 2015 or something like that because I didn't realize what it was. I was like, oh, is it like upstairs where you get chips and stuff like that and it's like on the second level and I've got front row seats? I ain't walking all the way up there. They said, no, it's the food downstairs. It's nice. It's 12 years. I have officially stopped my monthly donations. Now, that gives me a chance to tickets next year to see if I want to buy into extra to the Touchdown Club next year. Right? But right now, what's in it for me? What is absolutely in it for me? To go down there and hear opposing fans do their chant in our hospitality area? I wouldn't do that to them. That's why it's called hospitality. That's because nobody was there to police it. Nobody's there to police it. Nobody in UTSA administration cares. They don't care. I stop caring. That's just how it goes. But yeah, I don't know, but that kid's dad was wearing a solid white shirt. I couldn't tell if it had a logo on it or not. I couldn't tell what that kid's logo was. Looks like he was wearing an orange shirt. Maybe he was a Roadrunner fan. But he literally jumped over the fence and went hauling ass during our 2-point conversion. But yeah, little Johnny's feelings are more important than his trespassing charge. Good job, Dad. And none of this has to do with the game. None of it. Now let's talk about the game. All right, so I said we'd be okay running the football. I said I didn't worry about that. I said we'd be fine with our offensive line. Offensive line did pretty good. They understand our offensive scheme, though, and I'll get to that. I said we needed to improve quarterback play, and we needed to improve running back play. Wide receiver play. Those were struggle bus areas. I said we needed to improve secondary play. Those were the 3 things that beat us. We couldn't throw the ball very well. We had guys open and they were missed. We had that one long pass that still the receiver had to basically dive for it. Right? You can't, that's not a winning formula. Because that makes you one-dimensional. And we still ran the ball for a lot. Where we faltered, obviously, was a turnover on special teams, right? That 2-point, right? We made that up. We had a chance. We had our chance to come back. But our defensive front 6 did pretty well. We're there, just didn't make tackles. Or the running back and the quarterback didn't run out of control and managed to weave their way slowly through our front 6. Part of that has to do with they engaged in blocking much longer than we engage in blocking. And that's our problem with our offensive line blocking scheme. We really don't stay engaged long enough. It's more of a pass blocking scheme, zone blocking, and move like that. But when they run and they got somebody, they got them backing up, they keep pushing them back. They kept pushing our guys back or push us way out of the way. They didn't just let us olay. If we were getting out of the way, they kept pushing us out of the way. And so that created gaps for them to run. Hey, I told you. I counted this as one of our losses. So this should not be what I'm telling you. None of this should be shocking to hear come out of my mouth, right? Give Texas State their props. Give them absolutely 100% of their props. They executed. They absolutely executed when they needed to. All game long. Give them their props. They're a better football team than we are. They were a better football team than we were last year. I'm going to get to what we're experiencing here shortly. Now, our secondary play. I don't understand how after getting burned twice, the deep guy just doesn't say, he's the only guy out there. He's the only guy here. He's up near me, and I'm turning and running with him. He is not going to have a 10-yard cushion to catch a ball from me. I don't understand. Deepest deep, widest wide. Flag football. We understood that. And that's all passing, right? And when you're not fast enough to follow somebody, right? You turn and you start running, but you don't wait and let them get a buffer on you and think you're gonna recover. That touchdown of theirs where their quarterback rolled right. We had two guys right there, and neither one of them covered him. Neither one. At some point, you have to say, it's not my responsibility to stop the quarterback from making a magnificent run. It's my responsibility to stop him from making that pass because I'm covering that guy. I don't know why we're not doing that. I don't. Why it's got to be coaching. What else could it be? What else could it be? Defensive front six, we did okay. We did enough to get pressure a lot of the game. We just didn't make enough tackles with our defensive front six. And that put pressure on our secondary. Ain't no lie. But I'd rather have them pop off a 40-yard run than throw a 75-yard touchdown in one play. Because pretty soon those 75-yard once you shorten the field, you can't make those passes as easily. Now the field squats. With all that being said, yes, we gave up 43 points. 41 points. Offense scored 37, right? 36, sorry. Go through all my channels. How many times have I lamented, and especially those of you that follow me, that sit in my section, how many times you hear I say, why are we not under center in short yardage? Did you watch Buffalo and the Ravens? See what Josh Allen did? Matthew Stafford did to the Cowboys. He got the hike, jumped up, put the football over. Now he's a bigger football player than McCown. But when you hike it 5 yards back, they have a chance with their linebackers who are off the line to read you, to engage with you. They were using their front five to take up every one of our blockers, and then their linebackers reacted. That's what happened. We got under center, I formation, boom, we pounded it in. That first, the game was 100% lost on our first foray at the 1st and goal from the 5. What was that corner pass? Why? What? And then you run the ball, lose yardage. Then we throw the ball and we get it to the 4th and half-yard line, and we line up in the read option. That's where the game was officially lost. Everything else was just formality from there. They were better. They were more physical. They were more prepared. Absolutely. And frankly, you got to give them credit. Their QB, they found their Mason Fine. They found their Frank Harris. Absolutely. It's exactly what he played like. Didn't look like he was doing anything. But at the end of the day, he was down the field 8 yards. At the end of the day, he was down the field 12 yards. At the end of the day, he rolled out and he threw a huge pass. That's how Frank looked every one of his games, right? He didn't sit back there with the package. He matriculated, get him 5-7 yards. They get the rush on him. He move up, get himself 5 yards, get out of bounds. It's 2nd and 5 because of his mobility. That's what this kid did to us. That's what Mason Fine did to us all the time, right? 4 years straight. Going forward, if you know it's 4 down territory, you have to have something to make 4th down manageable, right? Our defense got the ball back. And what do? We did silly stuff to make it 4th and 13. I know our wide receivers drop some ball, but go back to wide receiver play. We don't have anybody who can get behind anybody. We don't have anybody that can do that. Or we're not scheming to get somebody to do that. What else could it be? What else could it be? And we had a couple chances. Passes weren't great. And they really weren't. It'd been nice, but it is what it is, right? Now, apparently that kid for Texas State was salty he didn't get recruited heavily by UTSA, 2 years ago. I mean, we already had 3 quarterbacks on roster. We had Eddie Lee, we had Owen, right? And then we had whoever it was on roster, right? And then now we got, grabbed Tennyson this year. Eddie Lee left, grabbed Tennyson. He should be happy he didn't come here because he'd be sitting on the bench watching losing football instead of winning football. So I don't understand that whole he's mad at UTSA. That's some weird mantra I don't get. He went to some place that he could start. He was guaranteed to start, right? Sorry, my dog's in the formal with me, sniffing around. I'm making sure she's not going to squat and do a no-no. She's usually pretty good, but she's cute as can be. She had her little UTSA bandana on for the football. Bought it for her, goes around her collar. But it's cute as anything else, right? Well, all I know is I'll be there at UIW. And I'm worried. I am worried. Because you don't think UIW might have somebody who can exploit our issues? Think about what I'm saying. You don't think they have somebody like that? I said, were we playing this type of defense against Texas A&M because we were afraid of their QB or because of our defense, our secondary? We found out it was our secondary. And a little bit of that Texas A&M effort might have left our kids. To me, they looked a little flat. That our defense, to me, I sit right there, didn't seem to be all that engaged. It's not a defense. It's not an attitude that I'm used to seeing. Because I sit right there. I've sat right there, like I said, since 2011. This isn't the demeanor I'm used to seeing from our defense, and that scares me. That worries me, not scares me. But you know what I mean. Scares me for the rest of the season. Because we're talking, this is a team that lost to Rice. This is a team that lost to ECU. What? I mean, I don't know how else to put it. There were times I saw a 4-win team at best on the field. I'm still sticking with my 6-6 is highly probable. 7 maybe, but I'm not going up to 8. I'm worried for our program when we travel to USF. My eyes don't usually deceive me with problems. Every one of these problems I'm pointing out, and every one of these problems that you guys are experiencing, I said we're there. Frank masked them. Zakari, Tyke Ogle-Kellogg, DeCorian, Oscar Cardenas, they masked them. Could you imagine if we had our offensive line injuries this year already, like we did when we had those guys, but without those guys? Oh, you're talking 2 wins at best. You guys are already ready to fire everybody. I think changes need to be made, absolutely. But let me ask you something. Who are we going to get? I mean, seriously, who are we going to get? Who? Some up and comer from high school? Okay, that's a whole new system that they got to get. Basically, you got to have whole new players. You can't keep changing offenses. Well, we haven't even changed our offense. Let's face it. This is the same thing we've seen since 2020. The difference is we don't have a Sincere McCormick, we don't have a Frank Harris, and we don't have the 4 wide receivers that I mentioned. And I'm sure I'm forgetting one other wide receiver that played with that group. I know I am. There's a third one. I feel bad because love those guys, right? This is the state of UTSA football. We have to change our offensive scheme, play calling specifically a lot of the times. You're on the goal line. You need 1 yard. Get under center. Jumbo package does exist. Tush push is legal. You don't think our 4th string defensive tackle wouldn't mind being out there going, let me tee off on somebody? I know I said this. We had number 33, McDougal, right? We had a nickname for him, McDouble, because he's double 33, double threes, right? And he was as wide as he was big, but that kid balled out. You don't think he would have loved to have lined up in a fullback position and just fire at the offensive line? Or defensive line in that case, and create a hole for whoever's getting the rock? And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this right now. I want to see Tennyson play. I saw a more accurate throw from Tennyson deep than I've seen from Owen so far this season. I don't care what you say in regards to quality of defense. It's about putting the ball where it needs to be. I'm just laying it out there. There's a point where loyalty has to go out the door. Look at Eddie Lee Marburger's stats. Yeah, I know it's UTRGV. I know it's FCS. I know that. But they beat a ranked opponent in Prairie View A&M. They're 2-0. They actually look like they want to play football together. They've bought into being together. Does UTSA look like they want to be together? Do our players look like they want to be together? My eyes. I told you about our defense. I'm worried about it. We got too much talent. But that's not there. That is missing. Get it? Then maybe we are an 8-win team. But we got to get it fast. We got to get it against UIW. We got to get it against Colorado State. Anyway, Roadrunners, this is a little longer than normal. Props to Texas State. Props to Texas State. Props to Texas State. They came in. They were ready to win. They were prepared. And they won. Props to them. Hey, this is good. We've got a rivalry now, maybe, huh? And no, you can't avoid competition thinking that's going to help your program grow. We need butts in the seats. And they bring butts in the seats. Just like we put butts in their seats. It financially benefits both of us. We let both programs, by not having at least this be our 10th game, has thrown probably $100,000 that week out the window. $100,000 would probably pay one of our assistant coaches, position coaches, salary for the year. Something to think about. Anyway, peace out, Roadrunners. Let's recoup. Let's recover, let's regroup, and let's get after UIW. Peace out, birds out, FAFO.